This place has been part of my identity for nearly a decade. We've served thousands of tacos, poured tens of thousands of margaritas, hosted weddings, wakes, wild parties, and everything in between. But after 9 years, we've decided to walk away from the site that built the brand. Not because it failed, but because it outgrew its original shape. And we're ready to grow in a smarter way. This is the story of why we're leaving the big space behind and what happens next. I didn't come from a hospitality background. I built this from the ground up, learning as I went. Learning through mistakes, through service, through stress, and through community. Ojo Rojo wasn't just a business idea, it was a piece of me. It came from my time spent living in Mexico. That season of my life shaped who I became. I came back to the UK for 2 reasons, my now wife and the idea for this venue. It took 2 years to open the doors to this place. It cost about 400 grand to fit out the space. And I did what I had to. I borrowed, I partnered, I put my own hands into it. I sanded floors, stripped out electrics, designed everything from scratch. We built it with soul, and we've looked after it every day since. So yes, on one hand, it absolutely breaks my heart to leave it behind. But on the other, it's the only way to keep the brand alive. At first, the scale was exciting. 2 floors, a garden, 2 bars, a kitchen that could pump food out across 3 zones, events, private hires, high volume nights. It worked beautifully for a long time, but over time the size of the venue started to weigh on us. The tipping point wasn't one big moment, it was a slow build up of strain. Menus expanded, labour costs rose, kitchen struggled to keep pace with the variety. We had days where service flowed like magic, and days where the machine cracked under its own complexity. It wasn't that we weren't successful, it's that the success at this scale became too expensive. Not just in money, but in energy, time, and focus. We were always busy, but the busyness started breaking us. So we made the decision to walk away from the big space, to sell the lease and to downsize. Not to retreat, but to reset. I had to admit something hard to myself, that I was clinging to a version of Ojo Rojo that no longer served us. We weren't failing, but we weren't thriving either. We were maintaining, surviving, and reacting. And I didn't build this brand to survive. I built it to make people feel something. So we're choosing a new path. Smaller sites, more focused energy, less surface area to maintain, more room to breathe. Growth doesn't always mean bigger. Sometimes growth means leaner, smarter, clearer. And as for this building, the one we spent so long shaping, it still has life left in it. It's a brilliant site, and I hope someone sees what I see in it, because I genuinely believe that in the right hands, this building could become a huge success. It deserves that. The plan now is to relocate Ojo Rojo to a new, smaller site. We're scouting locations, looking for somewhere more sustainable, something that we can run lean without losing quality. A smaller menu, a better kitchen layout, fewer moving parts, more energy on the guest experience. This isn't about compromise, it's about clarity. Everything that we've learned in the last 9 years is going into the new version. This next site will be the template. If we get it right, we'll open more, but only if each one can run without breaking the people behind it. We're not shrinking to hide, we're shrinking to sharpen. The venue isn't just bricks and tables, it's where we built relationships, fell in love with ideas, made friends, mourned losses, danced under the garden lights, and built a community. I'll miss this place, the energy, the people, the madness, and the stillness that came after last call. And I'll miss the music. Music was a huge part of what made this venue feel alive. Before we even opened the doors, I spent a year building the playlists, soundtracking what I imagined the space would feel like. Every track was something I'd found while living in Mexico, stuff that reminded me of the streets, the bars, and the culture, stuff that captured the spirit I wanted people to walk into. And it worked. We had bands, DJs, impromptu sets, people dancing in corners and smiling at songs they hadn't heard in years. The venue always had a rhythm to it, and you could feel it in the air. It was never just background noise, it was part of the identity. We'll be taking the music with us, yes, but I'll miss the sound here as much as the space. I've told this story before. When we opened, I told someone what I wanted Ojo Rojo to be, and they laughed and they said, having a venue is like raising a kid. You guide it, but it becomes its own thing. And that's exactly what happened. JJ and I had a vision, but the venue developed a life of its own. It shaped us as much as we shaped it, and it will forever be part of who I am. But now, we honour that legacy by letting it evolve again. We're not walking away from what Ojo Rojo is, we're walking towards what it's becoming. This transition isn't just something we're doing behind closed doors, we're sharing it, all of it. The good bits, the chaos, the emotional days, the moments of clarity. You'll see final services, the packing, the testimonials from the people who stood by us, the memories and the beginnings. We'll be posting long form videos like this regularly and short form stories daily across Instagram and TikTok on both Ojo Rojo's accounts and my own. Some of it will feel exciting, some of it might feel tough, but it'll be real. Because Ojo Rojo has never just been one story. It's been a collective, a community and a movement. And we want you to come with us as we build the next version. So if you've ever eaten here, danced here, worked here, or just stopped in for a mezcal and a chat, you're part of this. This venue gave us everything it could, and now we're taking everything it gave us and turning it into something new. We're not leaving her behind, we're carrying her forward into smaller echoes that honor everything that she taught us. This is goodbye to the building, but it's not the beginning of the end, it's the end of the beginning. So subscribe to this channel to follow the full journey, join the mailing list via our website, and share the story. We're doing this our way and we'd love to have you along for the ride. So come in for one last mezcal or cocktail or taco, or just to say goodbye to the building and support us in these last few months.